friends, Jewel back, another super cool astrology video, and I thought we would continue with our Venus and aspect to Pluto series and talk about the square between Venus and Pluto in the natal chart and what this entails. What kind of something you can expect when you see this in somebody's birth chart. So Venus is that original ruler, of the second and the seventh house. So it carries the meaning of those houses in somebody's life. So it's our sensuality. It's the way we relate socially, our friendships, our partnerships, how we relate to money. The second house, values, self-esteem, what we value. And so Pluto is the planet that represents the 8th house issues in our life. Sex, death, regeneration, difficulties, crisis, how we get our deepest needs met. Our ups and downs, the things that we choose to bury, things that we don't want to deal with. And it's really that powerhouse within us that controls everything, because it's very much what we choose to not deal with, and as a result, that's really what deals with us as humans. So yeah, we think we're real smart, but no. We're very much controlled by the things that we think are not controlling us. So when we have a planet that represents somebody's love nature, the way that they're oriented to their social relationships, the way that they approach pleasure, when that is in a square aspect to Pluto, which is difficulty, crisis, you see somebody that tends to have a very combative social and love nature. They're very focused on determining what someone or what something is worth, and then getting in or getting out, depending on what that judgment is about whatever it is that they are having their eye on, which is like a laser. So, Venus is our values and what we value and our self-esteem. So, any difficult, or really any angle, but especially any difficult angle to Pluto really shows that there is a fundamental problem with the self-valuing or the self-esteem. And this very much is always connected to the past, because Pluto very much represents the past. So when these two are in a square aspect, somebody that has this very much perceives love and social relationships as being a threat to their value or their values. So they are very much ready for a fight when they are stimulated in a way, there's either 7th or 2nd house. So they will grill you and find out what they want to know, and then either determine if you're worthless and also slimy and probably threatening and stupid at the same time, or they determine that you add to their worth and they can become obsessed with you. So they're very much either or, these people. They don't find, it's not like the opposition where they find a lot of people to be obsessed about. This is one where they are really, really picky. And they have a very hard time in their social and love relationships because they are so judgmental about other people's values. And that's very much a unconscious projection of how they feel about themselves and what's going on inside. So they have a very hard time getting along with other people because they are so prickly. They have this prickly vibe and can be very sarcastic, very patronizing to other people. And, they see love or friendships or social relationships as something that they have to defend against. So, their perceived notions about others, their assumptions are their worst enemy, these people. Because they unconsciously act out on these old ideas that to love others or to be vulnerable to others or to show their inner vulnerabilities, or their how they really feel about themselves, how they genuinely feel about themselves. To show that is very, very, very difficult for them. They feel like then the other person could use that to control them, or could use that information to manipulate them. So they're very prepared to do battle. And when someone is ready and dressed for a fight, they've got their sword out, and they've got their chainmail on, and they've got all their armor on, what do you get when you go out and come at people like that? What do you get? You either get people who are going to run from you because they're terrified, which is often the case with people who have this square going on, or you're going to get people who are ready to go up to battle with you. And those are the people that they get into relationships with. And they become very combative relationships. So, it's run or fight when you see these people coming, because you have to stand up to these people. And at the same time, you have to be loving and supporting, because that is the energy that they are missing of the second house, is that supportive energy. So you have to make them, believe by your actions that they have value to you. And a lot of times you have to penetrate that armor somehow to do that. And you have to make them understand that you are not out to manipulate them or to control them or to somehow rob them of their worth or their self-esteem or their stuff. So, because above all, these people are protecting their worth. And they are combative because they are afraid of being found out as being vulnerable or weak. And so, partners and friends really trigger this stuff, because this is second and seventh house issues going on within somebody. So they get into trouble at work, they get into trouble in their social relationships, they get into difficulties in their love relationships, and they just really feel like they have to protect themselves. So they're always just this cactus walking around blaming others for not being able to penetrate their armor. It's like, see, I told you that you are defensive and combative, and they act in a way that make others defensive and combative towards them. So learning to trust that others can, and that somebody that is available, will value them despite their fears, or despite their inadequacies, or despite what they don't bring to the table. This is what they really need to show. They need to be able to be vulnerable enough to allow somebody to love them for the things that they are not. And so, Pluto is very projective, the planet, its nature. And they project this onto others because that's just how Pluto always functions. And they see themselves as highly honest and raw, but they don't understand that their honesty is often anger, often rebelliousness, or, a confrontational thing going on. And so this is honesty to them. And they need to realize that they will continue to get what they put out there energetically, as long as their attitude is geared towards honesty means combat, or being real means being cruel. So, seeing that their stance and their readiness to be in a fight is really what is causing the fights is something that is very, very, very difficult for them to see and accept, because it's very, very ingrained in them that other people are out to get them. And admitting that you have really been the source of a lot of your own social and love difficulties, that's a very difficult thing. You have to take on a lot of responsibility that you have not had to take on previously. So when we blame, we really are giving our power away. We're giving it away to other people because we are seeing them as the ones that are responsible for where we are and what we're doing. And that is highly what's going on here, is they blame their lack of second house fulfillment on Pluto things. That's other people's resources, crisis, difficulties, not getting their deepest needs met. And, we'll project this onto the world as this is the way the world is. And it's very difficult to reason with them because they are so apt to blame other people for the amount of tension and conflict that they see in their life. So, seeing that, accepting responsibility, this is huge for them, because not accepting responsibilities and not following through, especially in either the workplace, because this is second house things, how we earn our money, or in relationships, seventh house things, that really is something that we can see from this. They feel like they are owed something, or they are shorted. And so they become very angry in, second house, daily work environment, how we get our money, or seventh house issues, relationships. So when they can really see that their attitude towards others and their attitude towards love is what is causing the separation between them and others, and the tension and the frustration, then they no longer associate getting love with getting taken advantage of, or getting love and worth with having a certain amount of worth being robbed or taken from them. So they need to find how to appropriately give of themselves, because they're very stingy with what they will give you. And because they don't feel like they have enough. Like they aren't filled up inside. And so they have to cling to everything. And money also, they don't tend to want to let money go. They, all people with difficult aspects from Venus to Pluto tend to be very, very money conscious and careful and aware of where all their money is. They may not be good with it, but they are aware of it. And they tend to want to keep it or hold it as long as they can. They are bill payers, but it tends to be at the last minute. So this is one where they do experience a very deep transformation throughout their life. Their love nature, the way that they approach all their relationships, undergoes a huge crashing and burning and regeneration. And these people can actually become some of the most generous people that you have ever seen, where they are very stingy in their earlier life, especially with what they will allow you or how much of them they will give you because they feel like you're going to take it all, they can actually become extremely generous and extremely focused on giving instead of how much are they going to get, because they're so focused on that and before they go through this transformation, so focused on what you're going to bring them that they don't give of themselves the way that they need to. So what does that get you? A selfish relationship where, oh my gosh, look, you did it again, you're selfish again. No, you're the one who put yourself in that position, person with Venus square to Pluto. And when they undergo this beautiful transformation, they can become very, very happy within their own selves and feel very, very fulfilled within their own self. So this feeling of, I only have a little bit of love in me and I can't let any of it go because then I won't have anything left. They go from that to I have such an abundance that I can freely give. And you can take as much as you want because there isn't an end. And that is what the truth is. They learned lack in their early life. They learned that there wasn't enough or that the love was pieced out if they were good enough. So the love wasn't flowing. The love was dammed up somehow. And so they go forth with that same attitude. And they get that because that is their attitude. So their transformation is simply about how they approach the world. And this brings the correct kinds of relationships to them. This brings people that they can both respect and feel that they don't have to push to get to that place that they can respect them. So energetically, they rise to this place where they are not experiencing tension or frustration just by relating to people. They're experiencing the beautiful things of Venus, which is beauty, which is sensuality, art, inspiring things, rather than the things of Pluto, which is gimme, gimme, gimme. So, I hope that this was helpful and provided some information that perhaps you haven't heard elsewhere, because I know my videos are quite long. And I will be back super soon with more super long videos, I'm sure. You can find me on the internet at truthinAspectastrology.com. Yes, I do private consultation all the time. I am mainly a relationship and intimacy astrologer, but I interpret all types of charts. You can find me on Facebook, where I do daily astrology weather forecast, birthday descriptions for all days of the year, articles, because I also specialize in asteroids and planetoids, and my book is going to be coming out very soon about asteroids. I will be highlighting almost 50 with house and sign placements that you will not be able to find anywhere else. So that will be coming super soon, and I will be back with more super cool videos. I think we will round out the Pluto-Venus series here and finish up the Moon in Partners Houses series, and then, I don't know, I think I might take suggestions as to what my next series should be. So, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.